Drake's last couple little moves, and when the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef was going on, we had a little commentary. Excuse the fruit flies if you see them. We live in the woods. It is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? But what's next for Drake? I said before that Drake needed to drop one of those albums that we fell in love with. One of those albums where his lyricism was put on display, his song making ability, his ability to make different genres of songs and things of that nature. I thought that that's what he needed. And looking at what just happened with the 100 gigs drop, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I didn't look at all of that because I don't care about all of that, bro. Like I get it, the making of this, the making of that, but where you're at in hip hop due to this Kendrick Lamar situation, how you've been moving since you basically took the L. It's been real corny, real. I can't take a L. I'm gonna use my power and influence to make it look like I didn't take an L, even though we see that you took an L, and we see the remnants of that L with the label now coming back and trying to take down the music and trying to basically charge you from what I've seen for putting out all that content because you're in a slave deal. If we're going to keep it real, I just don't see why Drake took this route, and I don't think that his career is over. From what I hear, because I'm not really interested in his features that he's done with these artists that are outside of hip hop. I still don't think that it's big enough. I don't think the 3 songs he came out with were good enough for his positioning to have changed from what it was when Kendrick first dropped Not Like Us. I myself have given Not Like Us a break because it was a time where I was listening to Not Like Us every day, multiple times a day. Every now and then I listen to I forget what I don't listen to any of the Drake disses because the effect that it had on for me and the capping that it seemed like he was doing with the Dave Free stuff and the Whitney stuff, it just once Not Like Us came out and then once he kind of threw in the white flag with the Heart Part 6, it just was a wrap for me as a fan. Adding to how he's been moving, it's just been kind of goofy because I don't know if you guys catch on, but everybody can see this. He became a gangster like 6, 7 years ago, and he wasn't a gangster. He was the guy that was never gonna beef with people. You diss me, you'll never hear a reply. And then you start talking about spinning blocks and sliding and how y'all jump drum. And it's just like bro, it's cool to be a regular dude. It was cool to be the Drake that you were before you tried to latch on to the change of the hip hop game. And honestly, bro, it's in my opinion that if Drake would have, because if you're reading this, it's too late. I think it was a good project, but maybe if he would have never took that turn by coming into the kind of gangster adjacent lane and stuck to what he was good at, I think he would have gotten way better at it and his career would have took a whole different turn. But now you put yourself in a position where you're talking about Top is going to drop down and give you 50. You start making all these references to somebody that really grew up in the environment that you're cosplaying in, and now this is what you look like. So again, I think Drake, if he really, I'm not listening to a Drake Party Next Door collaboration. I don't listen to Party Next Door. I'm a real R&B type of person. I'm not even an R&B type of person, but if I am listening to R&B, I'm not listening to fuckboy R&B. That's just not something that I'm gonna play. But like Drake, again, you got to give the people what they want, and this is the classic that we've been looking for. And it's not gonna be a rap classic. It doesn't have to be a straight rap, you know, whole 10, 12 songs of rap. It just has to be a great album, which you have not given us. I don't. When the last time Drake gave us a good album, a great album, I think was it was the playlist. I forget what it. More Life. More Life was the playlist. Now the thing is, bro, like her loss. I think her loss is a great project, but you're not like that, Drake. You are not a gangster. And now listening to these songs that you had, those great songs that you did make with 21 Savage on that album, they don't hit like that. None of that gangster stuff hits like that anymore. So you can't even put her loss in there as a viable project. Drake, he stop it with the collaborations with the pop stars. Stop the party next door stuff. We don't care. We need you. Stop it with these tricks, man. And honestly, bro, now that I look at it, the way that, because I remember it was a couple Joe Button podcasts ago, and he was talking about it had not yet come out that UMG had a problem with the release of the 100 gigs. Now that I look at it, they might be spanking Drake. Like UMG might be spanking him by the way. Joe used to do this thing where he used to basically make predictions using his music industry experience of what's going on. In my opinion, I think Joe Budden has went from making predictions and making assumptions of what's going on in the music industry to actually with his status and his the size of his platform that he has now. I think that Joe Budden gets fed breadcrumbs and he's in the play to take Drake down because Drake's head got too big. And I want to say, even when Drake signed this big deal, that Joe was saying, "Yo, this is not what you think it is. Yeah, it's gonna be some chilly, $450 million worth, but this is a slave deal." I want to say Joe predicted this. I'm gonna say it right now as we, because I'll keep following this as Drake keeps making these terrible moves. Because you could just take your L. You should have just took your L, went back and made some music that matters, not just hopping on this stuff. Nobody in hip hop cares about these pop star hits. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, the women care about that. Yeah, the white, the little white boys, your schlong gang, they're gonna make it seem a certain way. But the people that actually matter, the people that are actually gonna put their word out there and speak about this music that you're putting out, they don't care about any of these pop hits, bro. We don't care about that. Hip hop is hip hop, and I just don't understand why he won't get that. It's almost like he's being stubborn. But if Drake don't come out with the project that we need, his project, not a collaboration project, not some put together stuff by the industry. You need to, but there has to be somebody around Drake that is advising him. You got to sit down and make some real music. If there's not, I think that's a result of you taking your position that you've had and taking advantage of it to screw people over. This is my assumption. But nobody cares about. I'm not saying nobody cares, but this 100 gigs stuff. What does it do? None of the songs were good that you came out with. They weren't. That this up song, 21 Savage was the star on the song. Doug had a better, vibe than you. You have to. I don't know if he's lost himself. Hopefully he hasn't, because if Drake has lost himself and he's no longer the person that can make a So Far Gone, that can make a Will Be Fine, that can make us songs and staples like that, it's gonna be over. And the downfall, the demise, the way that they're gonna make you look, just making assumptions on how certain people of power feel about you in the industry, it's not going to be a good downfall. It might be the worst downfall that we've ever seen before. And I honestly think if he doesn't get real, that this is the beginning of it with UMG spanking him in public for dropping that 100 gigs of content. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments, though. I'm out.